नमस्कार, मैं अशोक व्यास हूँ और मेरे पीछे जो स्थान आप देख रहे हैं उसके बारे में चर्चा करेंगे हम। डेस्टिनेशन लाइफ सीरीज जो शुरू कर रहे हैं, जिसमें हमारा साथ देने के लिए जुड़ने वाले हैं हमारे साथी राजेश शर्मा। तो सबसे पहले उनका स्वागत कर लिया जाए। राजेश जी, आपका स्वागत है, नमस्ते।
नमस्कार अशोक जी।
राजीव, मैं जब इस सीरीज के बारे में सोच रहा था तो मुझे लगा कि हम में से कम लोग होते हैं जो जीवन को सचमुच समझने की, अपनाने की कोशिश करते हैं। हम लोग एक दबाव को लेके चलते हैं कि मुझे ये करना है, पैसे कमाना है, ये करना है, परिवार है, जो भी है। तो समाज की तरफ से जिस तरह के दबाव आ जाते हैं वो हमको एक रूप दे देते हैं कि भाई ऐसे यू शुड फ्लो। And then gradually we realize, call it philosophy or maturity, or there are some people who come to this awareness earlier than others, where we feel that life is much more than what I have started assuming it to be. And there, I think traveling also becomes a special way for you to open up and appreciate yourself as well as the creation. So, having said that, as a sort of conversation where we'll be going with you to Balkan states where you recently had a road trip. But in addition to that, we'll go to your poetry and we'll also give ourselves the luxury of philosophizing what we experience. So, having said that, first your comments on how you have started connecting with life differently over a period of years, and if you were to talk to your 30-year earlier self, would you have any advice for that, Rajesh?
पहली बात तो अशोक जी ये है कि द जर्नी ऑफ ह्यूमन स्पीशीज एज ए स्पीशीज has been very interesting, and what happened about 70,000 years ago, which was very unique to this species of us, like Homo sapiens, that we started having a genetic mutation which made us curious, which made us not being satisfied within a confined space with limited number of people. We started acquiring those abilities which help in expanding, whether language it is, or whether traveling, whether going from one place to another place, exploration. And exploration was not very general in sense like what other animals also do, migration from one point to another, but they only do for the want of food, right? For the looking for food. But human beings had this extra element of curiosity, exploration. So this has become a defining trait of our species. It is one of the most important species which has made human beings, Homo sapiens, as at the top of food chain, and so much so that we are dominating. I would say now over dominating this planet. Might not be good that kind of domination, but yes. So our curiosity can only be catered by four things. One is that you read. When you read, you live a life. When you read, you experience something vicariously, and reading makes your brain expand to such possibilities which are not possible for you to live in this present life. Second is traveling. Traveling, when you travel to a stranger place, to a stranger uh, uh, culture, to a place where you never thought you would be, with people you never traveled earlier, it opens new dimensions. And third is that the connection already you have within yourself. When you look at all this, there's a constant dialogue which keeps going between you and the environment. You know, Nirasi Chaudhary, the famous Indian writer who wrote that famous book, A Passage to England, he once commented that, very derogatorily for Indian, I mean, please don't take it otherwise, that Indian tourists are like a cow. A cow is standing at place and looking at a most wonderful monument, but just gazing it. It's just seeing it. It's not observing. It is not actually seeing it. You know, most of things remain unseen. So what he was hinting basically at that we should have that, not knowing, going, ticking the box and just completing the circuit and come back. We just engage ourselves to the deeper meaning of travel. So when that communication goes, you become a part of your surrounding, which always is your endeavor, because when you have traveled inside, you start connecting with outside, right? So the traveling, reading, and the environment, the nature, wherever you go, you become a part of that, and you start observing and absorbing more. And this is a nothing short of a meditation, and nothing short of a sense of purpose. Because what is the sense of purpose for anybody's life? There is no sense of purpose given to us, right? There is no sense of purpose, defined sense of purpose for each and everybody. We have to find one for ourselves, give a meaning to ourselves. And what gives us meaning is these four ways: having conversation, having traveling, reading books, and having connection with the environment. If any one of these four is missing, then it gives birth to an ambition which is lopsided. Then it either goes after power or money or greed for more resources or some kind of other thing, right? It becomes a sort of a misguided missile.
I think, yeah, you put it so beautifully, and you have stimulated my thinking. And I'll pick two words. One is curiosity. So let me dwell on curiosity. The days when Neeraj C. Chaudhary said what he said, and the days where we are with internet and social media and the competitive spirit to take more and more pictures, and even before you have absorbed or appreciated, share it on the Facebook or something, or send to somebody. So basically, our uh, inner poise to to be a part of the environment is gradually declining. Actually, we are, I don't know what is happening. So when I say I don't know what is happening, I think we are missing out by not working on developing the proper approach. Now there is no standard for the proper approach. It would vary from individual to individual. But now I come back to you. But before I come to you, let me share the video of your recent road trip, and we'll hear from you.
Bazaar.
So let me pause it here for a few seconds and seek some input from you for our viewers who will find it helpful to hear from you, as if as to what it is.
I will point out to the last scene where the cars are rushing on a runway. You know, this is very interesting place. This place and it was one of the most important military asset in Europe. It was created in Tito's time. Aerodrome. The place is called Gelvia, if I'm not wrong. And this aerodrome is under a mountain, and under a mountain about 7 kilometer inside tunnels and the aircraft and all. There are four runways all across. And when the Balkan war was happening after Tito's death, then Yugoslav army, that time Yugoslav was getting defined by Serbs. So Serbian and Montenegro put together, there was Yugoslavia, and they destroyed this. They blasted this facility so that it doesn't fall in hands of Croats or Bosnia or other people who were seeking to get. So now this runway are being used for this. So all the six cars where our carver was, we were asked to go for a full speed this. I mean, it is just to give the feel of what it would have been, the scene when Balkan War was taking place. And it was a horrible war. 140,000 people were killed. So
So let me for the benefit of me as well as some of our viewers who may not be familiar with that history part, with certain details which may help. I will play this, but do tell us about this formation of Balkan states and the basic history briefly, please.
Yeah. So basically, the country was Yugoslavia, and Yugoslavia after Second World War became a communist country, and the most known leader was Tito. If you remember, Tito, Nasser, and Nehru, they started the non-aligned movement, and uh, Tito was. Uh, do I continue or?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, we can
So
hear you. Hmm.
yeah, so Tito was a very strong leader. He held the country together, but there are a lot of ethnic differences within the country. Though everybody was Slav, but since they have been ruled by Ottoman Empire in the past, Austro-Hungarian Empire, and the earlier Romans as well. So there were lot many religions and ethnic divide were taking place. Most of the people were, let's say, uh, uh, Roman Catholics. Some people were Orthodox Christian. Some people, because Ottoman Empire, Islamic tradition, and so all these things were creating a lot of. They created a lot of problems. So everything was which was suppressed for so many years by Tito erupted, and they started seeking the independence with their own, making the religion as one of the main plan, and ethnicity identified with that religion. So Croat said, "Ki we are Protestant, we will go, or we are Roman Catholic, we will go, not Protestant, we will go." The other part said, "No, we Yugoslavia was uh, actually a Orthodox, a Christian country, so we will not let you go and will make you live here, but under our religion." So, as we see in India, as we see elsewhere in the world, wherever the diversity is there, wherever multi religion is existing, you have this kind of problem. But this problem took a very nasty turn when Subs started taking it very seriously, and they did reprisal, which was one of the most heinous war crime. And the person who did it was sentenced to life imprisonment by uh, international justice in Hague. He died in prison, and the whole country then got broken into 6, 7 countries: Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Kosovo, like that, Montenegro, like that. So after that, but what is positive story in this is after that, some of them aligned with the EU, some of them aligned with NATO, but not EU. Some aligned with both. Some aligned. Some have chosen not to align. But all of them now, for the sake of living together and cooperating with each other, have worked out a scenario where which nobody is referring to the what happened in the past. So they say we have taken the past, put it in a drawer, and locked the drawer and threw away the key. And so whatever existed happened before 2001 is all forgotten deliberately. Nobody can forget those memories, those scars, but deliberately, the deliberate intent is to forget that and move forward, and which has paid very rich dividend to the countries like Slovenia, Serbia, and Croatia, and all of them have become, I would say, lower developed countries with a GDP per capita on PPP basis about 52,000, 42,000, $38,000. So which is very heartening to see, and this all has happened in last 20 years. So the credit goes to them कि after such a brutal war, after such a cruel war, they still can work together, which gives us a hope that one day, inshallah, we can also do the same in Indian subcontinent.
When you say Inshallah, you are Rajesh Sharma, and coming from India, it comes natural. Bhagwan ki marji hai, Inshallah, because the ultimately it is that sense of oneness which
Oneness.
connects. But how it's going to play out, especially the times when we are talking, it there are many challenges, but that would be topic for
different
another
topic.
day.
Yeah.
Let
Mhm.
me take you to this valley of flowers here right now.
This
Um,
is Zagreb, and
it's,
what you see at the back, that conical red tower, is a sanatorium which is about 650 years old. And very funnily, I met a priest there who is a Catholic priest, 75 year old, but who knew Sanskrit. And he and he spoke to me of things about Delhi Jamna ke tire, and he knew the complete couplet, the pura chand jo uska bhajan ka hai, he knew it. Then he showed me a place where swastika is engraved in the wall, and he said this swastika is not the Nazi swastika, it is Hindu swastika. Now nobody knows how it has appeared here, but he says I have one idea, and that idea is in our name of our region. That name of the region is, if I'm not mistaken, is about like Havarata, something like that, which he says is nothing but Saraswati, the goddess of
knowledge.
knowledge, which had the influence by then. I don't know how much truth in this or not, but what I'm saying is that people find cultural connection. I mean, he was just standing there, we were standing there, he just came and started speaking, and we had a cross-cultural good discussion. And to my surprise, he knew Sanskrit, which I don't. So it is, moments like this, that's what you look for, and which makes the whole journey very enriching. And this dimension later on, which I try to again bounce off with another person, very knowledgeable person who was guiding us in another place in Croatia. He acknowledged, he said yes, and he said, I know another place where I can show you the swastika.
Wow. Wow. So, one you feel childlike innocence comes back to you when you encounter these kind of experiences, or you come to know about something new and which excites you in a positive way. I think that is also a very big achievement of such trips. So, very quickly, if I request you to share, uh, if you go back like 30 years ago or so, probably we didn't have that many travelers from India going to foreign lands with these kind of spirit of exploring the new place, appreciating new culture. There were very few. Nowadays, I think the number has increased. And talk to me about your road trip, the way it was planned, and I believe there was a group that you were traveling with. So, just nitty gritty, if somebody
So
wants
we,
to do that.
so we were about 18 of us, and we had about 6 cars. So roughly, maximum there were four persons to a car, and then some car had two or three or whatever. So 18 cars, and 18 people in 6 cars, and we uh, went across. We started from Zagreb, and we ended up in Montenegro, and then we drove back to Croatia. So Zagreb to Bosnia, Zagreb to Split, Split to Dubrovnik, Dubrovnik to Bosnia, Bosnia to Montenegro, then come back to Dubrovnik. So this was the tour, and इसमें the Croatia, of course, is a has the heft, what you call it, tourism heft, because 18 million people visit Croatia. If I juxtapose this figure to Indian situation, and India is such a beautiful country with such a varied kind of experiences and places you can have here, but we have total foreign tourists 8 million. 2023 I'm talking about. Total tourism is about 40 million, but most of those people like you come to India visiting and then things like that. But foreign pure tourists is about 8 million, which is which gives us a quite a big headroom to grow over this sector, because we have everything. And here, if you talk of Croatia, whatever little they have, like a thing which was built about 600 years back, and nothing of very grand in scale, but they will project, preserve, project, present in such an interesting way that you become totally engrossed and you start having the what is called रस देखने में रस मिलता है. You start having the essence of what is being shown to you, which is very encouraging. I think we have a lot of potential in that regard.
I think that's a very good angle to look at it. So, you coming with the marketing background or management background, you take a 360 view as to, as a poet, also you are relating, and then you are also connecting the dots where, as a country, India can further call it exploit its potential or work to draw more foreign tourists. But let me also mention that we'll have one more conversation about this trip. But I want you to share a story
Yeah.
with this. Yeah.
So this is a very interesting place. I before coming to Croatia, I was not knowing that Nikola Tesla was a Croatian. Actually, was a Serb ethnicity, but born in Croatia. So he was Yugoslavian, right? And he is the one person who had a lot of idiosyncrasies, and he right from the beginning, his father wanted him to be a draftsman, and he rebelled. He said, "I don't want to be a draftsman. I want to be a scientist." And he had two, three close brushes with death, TB, and all kind of things happened to him. But ultimately, he on the very ground where I'm standing, he drew the very first drawing design of a AC motor, AC generator, alternating current generator, and alternating current motor. He drew that, and that idea he took to USA. He became a disciple of Edison. He worked with Edison for 6 years. Edison at that time was the champion of direct current, DC current. And this person told him, no, AC is the future. AC, alternating current is the future. So both of them had fight, and Tesla had to leave his lab, and he started on his own. And ultimately, history proved him right. Nikola Tesla's alternating current is what we have all across the world today. And whatever we see, whatever wonderful things we see all around us, is thanks to Mr. Nikola Tesla.
Wow. So now, because with this car, also his name is
Yeah, it's
back
named after
in
him. Named
currency.
after him.
And let me quickly share that he was born July 10th, 1856. And that
Yes,
was in the Croatia where you were standing.
yeah,
And he passed away January 7, 1943. So, with the age 86. But it has been a long time that he's gone, and yet his contribution is so significant that we
fantastic.
seek
So all,
inspiration. Yeah.
yeah, so all I mean, people who have some interest in engineering field or technology would understand electromagnetic whole field belongs to him. He is the one. He's the father of electromagnetic domain.
Amazing. So we are talking to Rajesh Sharma, and he has been kind enough to share the wealth of wisdom that he assimilated during his road trip to Balkan states. Not just about the place, but about the life that we all are interested in. We get to learn from someone who travels, and we have had this rich tradition of many travelers who wrote about India, and that we now refer and sort of learn about our history and our culture. So
Actually,
traveling.
there's a wonderful, wonderful book on that by William Dalrymple, uh, The Golden Road, which is just published about 6 months back, is a wonderful book which tells the history of India being global centric destination from 300 BC to about 1200 AD. And during this time, everybody wanted to come to India and acquire knowledge or travel to India for seeing how wonderful this country was and take away either the goods or had the treaties or had the trade relationship, everything. And when I read that book, in fact, I I was not aware of. India was such a busy place for the people to, and the largest export of India is one thing which has influenced so many countries, that is Buddhism. that religion as well as the cultural development evolution which took place later on along with the idea has influenced China, Japan, Korea, Mongolia, as close as part of Afghanistan. You remember that Bamiyan Buddhist this thing. So whole half of the world and today's 50% of population have been touched by that export itself,
Wonderful.
which is
So,
it's,
Rajesh
it's,
ji, I must say that you enrich us by your passion for reading as well as traveling, and we'll continue our conversation about your road trip to Balkan states in the Destination Life Part 2. Considering the time, I thank you with lots and lots of good wishes. And I am sure many of our viewers would find some nuggets that would inspire them to explore and connect with life a little bit more than what they are doing, as is the case for me. So, thank you very much, and we
thank you,
see
Ashok
you
ji,
soon.
and thank you for having me here.